Hey, what's good, everybody? And thank y'all for coming and joining us again for another episode of Truth to Life, where we discuss real life issues that affect real life people in everyday life. My mission is to reveal the truth and to help as many people as I can by doing so. How, you ask? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Well, by encouraging people to believe better. And when we believe better, we think better. When we think better, we speak better. And when we speak better, we act better, which ultimately culminates into a better reality, a better results that we create for ourselves. For today's topic, we're going to discuss some of the dynamics of child abuse, how it's defined, and how it affects the children, and how it affects us as well. So, hope you grab your pen and your pad. Ready? Come on, let's dig in. Okay, let's first cover the definition, the Webster's definition of child abuse. Child abuse is when a parent or caregiver, whether through action or failing to act, causes injury, death, emotional harm, or risk of serious harm to a child. There are many forms of child maltreatment, including neglect, physical abuse, sexual abuse, exploitation, and emotional abuse. Okay, y'all got that? That is the actual definition. Now, let's break this down. First, we're going to start with smoking. Those of you guys that smoke death sticks, hey, whoever you may be, what you do and how you live your life is your own business. My uncle used to suck down death sticks. Death sticks are cigarettes. I call them death sticks because death sticks cause death. They have a skull and crossbone on the back of the label. See, sucking down death sticks could potentially kill you. Now, it doesn't happen in all cases, but it does happen in a lot. I'm just saying, you could either have one of those diseases or cancers, or you could die. Now, it's not 100% certain in all situations. Not everybody gets sick, not everybody gets cancer, and not everybody dies, obviously. But you definitely increase the likelihood, the potential, the possibility of having a decreased quality of life by indulging yourself in them disgusting death sticks. If you're willingly and consentingly sucking these things down, that's your business. I'm not mad at you. Rock on, homie. Anyway, my point is this. If you're smoking in a room or in the house with a child is defined as any human being under the age of puberty. Puberty is either 13 or 12. That's a child. Now, a teenager or a young adult is anyone from, 14 and up. You are forcing them to be exposed to secondhand smoke. And as we have, look it up. Just look it up. Don't take my word. Secondhand smoke has killed people and given people the exact same sicknesses as people who actually smoke. So when you're doing this to a child, that creates all kinds of problems, Doc. Now, here it is. Check this out. See, by 12 years old, that's when our organs are fully developed. However, after that time and throughout, let's say maybe to 18, maybe even 20 years old, is what allows our organs to gain strength so that they can function properly. And this is why it's so important for scholastic activities such as athletics in any area, whether it's soccer, basketball, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, that's how that plays out. So they're fully developed by 12 or 13, but I believe it was 12 from what I read. And then after that time, that's the strengthening process. If you're driving in your car and you're sucking down death sticks, your innocent little child, God forbid if it's an infant, gets exposed to those fumes, and guess what happens? They develop respiratory complications, respiratory problems. Not in all situations, but in many situations. And what happens is that now you have a child that's been exposed to secondhand smoke of any kind. The vapor, those vapor things, those are horrible and probably even worse. Any weed smoke, any kind of smoke, whether it's exhaust from a car or fire smoke or any kind of smoke that a child is forced to be exposed to over long periods of time can cause damage. Lifetime damage, asthma, any kind of chronic sicknesses, and probably even something worse. God forbid, hopefully not. But if you look it up, you'll see that they have documented cases where this has actually become really bad for children. So that's the reason why they pass certain laws to keep children. I didn't write the law book. I'm glad that they did pass these laws. They pass laws to keep people from smoking within the close proximity of children. Well, geez, Tony, what is close proximity? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. Here's the answer. Close proximity, according to what they say, the doctors, they say that the smoke from death sticks, or probably any other smoke, can travel or linger for up to 20 feet. So if you're smoking anywhere within 20 feet of a child, that's a problem. You're exposing your child to death stick smoke. That is a form of child abuse. Why? Because it's causing harm to the child. Remember when I just read the definition? I can show it to you. Definition says that child abuse is causing harm to a child. That's basically a concise definition of it. Causing harm to a child. Okay, so guess what? If you're inside of a car, a room, the house, check this out. Did you know that when you smoke, whatever it is that you smoke, that stuff gets stuck on the walls and then it goes up into the ventilation system? So now, even though you're in the other room, your child, your infant that's in the other room is still getting affected by the smoke that goes through your ventilation system, your air conditioning and heating, and they still get subjected to that death stick smoke, and it's going to cause problems, or it can cause problems. Do you see the logic? You can't get away from it. That's the reason why they say do not smoke around children. Go outside somewhere. And even though you are outside, it can still travel up to 20 feet. So don't do it. Stop it. This is the problem. Smoking around children or within close proximity to children. This is the result of the problem. It can, does, and will, if continued, cause health defects within that child. If you don't have asthma in your bloodline and your family tree, and your child has asthma, how do you get it? Well, if you sucking down some form of smoke on a regular basis, that's how you got it. It's your fault. And if you are so selfish to where all you can think about is yourself, what I want to do, what you want to do, what you want to smoke, you pay the bills, you bought the car, that little innocent child didn't ask to be here. And if you love him or her as much as you say you do, then you will act like it. L-O-V-E is not spelled L-O-V-E. L-O-V-E is spelled T-I-M-E and C-A-R-E. Time and care. Because if you care enough about your child, if you care enough about your child, you will not expose them to that garbage. Period. So whether you're in the house, go outside. Oh, even worse, it gets stuck in their clothes. So when you get in the car, if you've been sucking down death sticks all day, and because that's your form of escape, okay, bet. You riding around, you getting your smoke on, no problem. You got the windows rolled up, so now the smoke is getting into the interior of the vehicle. So what's happening when you go back home to pick up little Johnny and put little Johnny in the car, and then all of a sudden you want to roll the windows up and put the AC on, guess what? Still getting exposed to secondhand smoke. Well, why, Tony? What do you mean? I haven't smoked for hours. I've been done smoking. It was a long time ago, and I let the car air out and everything. Yeah, but guess what? That's after you had the windows rolled up while you were smoking inside of the car. So even though that you rolled the windows down when you finally got to the house to let the car air out, it still has the smoke residuals within the fibers of your interior. Just like smoke gets on the walls and make the walls yellow and sticky, there's a sticky film that will get on your interior of your vehicle, whether it's leather, fabric, or whatever, and they will be exposed to that. And you know they like to touch everything and stick their hands in their mouth. So if they touching the seats, getting that sticky stuff off the seat, now they're getting directly exposed to like a tar form of death sticks. And it's just, man, it just gets worse and worse and worse. So please stop sucking down death sticks close to your children or with your children in immediate proximity. And if you've been smoking and you have on the clothes, change your clothes before you pick up your infant. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Their organs are not fully developed until they're 12 or 13 years old. So you might want to have some bit of consideration if you're going to do that. That's cool. What you do is your business. Knock yourself out. But don't subject your children to that. They didn't ask for that. They're helpless and defenseless. They're children. There's nothing they can do about it but what mom and dad wants to do. So show them some consideration and some love. How would you feel if somebody did something, forced you to be around something that you don't want to be around? Whatever that may be. Think about it. Think about your worst nightmare. Somebody forced you to be around spiders or cockroaches and you don't want to be around them because they can cause that's a health hazard. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, man, you might want to think about that. Stop being so selfish and thinking about yourself all the time. Because you get out here and you make the money, you go to work every day. Don't nobody care about that, homeboy. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what comes with being a parent, dummy. That's your responsibility. That's your obligation when you lay down with that woman. So now you're responsible for taking the best care of your child. What you want to do in your own time while you're away, that's your business. But take into consideration that the child's organs are not fully developed yet. So don't subject them to that because it can cause problems later on in life and it's going to be all your fault. Second on the list is loud noises. Again, their organs are not developed until they're 12 or 13 years old. And even then, they're still really sensitive because they've just become fully developed. The ears and the nose continue to grow throughout life. That's why if you see older people, and this is something I didn't know until I researched it, older people have bigger noses and bigger ears because they continue to grow as you grow older. So don't y'all be cracking no jokes there. My nose ain't that big and my ears ain't that big, so you stop it. Anyway, but yeah, man, it's the same principle, same logic. If you're in the car and you just spent all this money on a $20,000 system, you got the nice new speakers and the amplifiers and the whole 9 yards, that is great, fantastic. Take it to a car show and do your thing. Ride by yourself and do your thing. Blow your brains out if you want to with your music. But when you have children in the car or even young adults in the car, please don't turn your music up all to the max. Remember that their ears are not fully developed yet. Give them at least until they hit their teens, man. Come on, bro. Be considerate. When you have your child asking questions all the time, huh? What you say, Dad? Huh? Think about it. That might come from you playing loud music in the car all the time or in the house all the time. Or allowing them to have on headphones and they have their headphones blasted up all the time. Whatever it is, that's why it's so important for you to engage your children, to monitor your children closely and carefully to make sure that they're getting healthy amounts of sound so that they don't damage their own ears. Because what do they know? They don't know any better as of yet. It is our responsibility as parents to make sure that we do what's best for the child. What is best for the child? Not what's best for you, not what's best for me. What's best for the child? That's what's important. Nothing else is important. Problem number 3 is psychological damage. When you tell your child that, oh, you ain't gonna never be nothing, or you gonna be just like your daddy, he ain't nothing, or you gonna be just like your mama, she ain't nothing, all you gonna be is XYZ. When you do that, when you condescend to your child, when you talk down to your child, when you insult your child and disrespect your child, you discourage your child. See, you have 2 words, okay? One is encourage, the other is discourage. To encourage is positive. That's a positive term. And it means to do something that is positive, that helps them, that benefits them, that uplifts them, not that brings them down, not that depresses them. So when you encourage, you lift up. When you discourage, you bring down. So think about your words before you speak them to your children directly or around your children within their hearing, because children remember everything. They are sponges when they're born, like from the time that they're infants all the way up until 12 or 13 years old. They're sucking down information 100 miles an hour. So if you just conducted yourself more intelligently, more circumspectly around your immediate surroundings because of care for your child, you don't want them to be exposed to certain things, then it'll be a better place. Children will come out better. We wouldn't have so many depression problems, and suicide rates will go down. You can't talk to your child in a derogatory fashion and discourage them constantly and then expect them to be positive and have a good attitude and be happy about going to school and be happy about living. Come on, man. Think about it, Doc. You cannot have a household full of chaos and then expect to have happy children. First, you make your wife happy, and then she makes your life happy. It's not rocket science. Take care of your business, men. Let's stand up and do what's right. Stop being so selfish. It's not about you. When you got married, you took on a responsibility of that woman and the potential children that you guys would potentially eventually have. So guess what? Your first obligation is to them, not to yourself. It's to them. Act like it. Don't curse your children out. If they do something that runs you hot, watch your words. It's cool to be, I understand a little something might slip every once a blue moon, but we're not talking about the accidents. We're not talking about the every now and thens. What we're talking about today is common practice. So if you suck down death sticks every day or most of the days around your children, that's harmful to their health. If you listen to loud music around your children every day or most of the days, that's harmful to your children. If you speak to them, or even if you use vulgar language around your child on a regular basis, that's damaging to their psyche, because it does not afford them the vocabulary that they should have or that you could benefit them with had you took the time to learn better words to express yourself so that you would be more effective parenting around your children. Or don't do it at all. Tell them to go to their room, and then you go do what you got to do, say what you got to say within the privacy of your own room, and hopefully low enough to where they don't hear you. Take care of these kids, man, because this world is who you think is going to, man. You know what I'm saying? It's you, it's us as parents that pass down the knowledge and the wisdom to the children, man. And if we're too selfish to pay any kind of attention to them or to care enough for them than to expose them to smoke and loud music and discouraging words, then it's only logical that they mature with all of these psychological inconsistencies and problems and concerns, and that they turn to lives of crime and sicko stuff and danger. It's because we did it to them. It was our fault in the first place. When you don't intentionally do anything, whatever that something may be, if you don't intentionally do it, then you basically leave it up to chance. That's the purpose of having plans. You have a to-do list because you have things to do. So you write them down, and you plan them, and then you execute them accordingly. It's the same thing when you're dealing with a life. So whether that's your wife, yourself, or your child, you're supposed to do this intentionally. Don't leave it up to chance. It's all about what you teach them. And if you don't live intentionally on purpose with vision, then your children are left to be raised at the mercy of the television. And the television is cool to a degree when you're intentionally choosing the channels, the TV shows, but left on their own, who knows what they're going to choose. You don't do that. Let's be more responsible. Let's care more. Let's love more. Let's encourage one another more, not discourage. Let's speak positively to one another. Let's lift one another up. Stop with the crabs in the bucket thing. Take care of your children. Love your children. Provide for your children. Spend time with your children. It's not about you having $1 million. It's not about you having a corner office. The kids don't care about the corner office, and they don't care about $1 million. They care about dad being at home. Dad spending time with them. Dad going outside and throwing the ball or running around, climbing a tree, packing them on their shoulders. That's what they care about. That's what means something, not money. Yeah, you got to have money to live. You got to have money to buy a few things for the kids and yourself and, you know, the wife and pay the bills, etc., etc. But you ain't got to kill yourself working for nobody, man. Stuff is not more important than people. People are more important than stuff. So don't live your life for stuff. Living your life for the desire to acquire is a bagless hustle, man. You're not going to get nothing out of that. At the end of the day, when you're on your deathbed, you're not going to ask for your bank account. Honey, please bring me my bank account. That's what I want to see. You can go somewhere else. Take the kids with you and the rest of the family. I just want to look at all of my money that I've earned and bask in it before I breathe my last breath. No, bro, that's not how it goes. That's not what you're going to do. What you're going to do is you're going to try to get those who love you to come and be around you. That's what you're going to do, because that's the best way and the only way to go. But guess what? If you don't spend the time, invest the time in your children, taking care of your children, showing your children that you love them, as opposed to only telling them the words, then when they get older and they become adults, hey, don't be surprised when they don't want to spend time with you or when they start treating you like you treat them. God's word says, matter of fact, this is in Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. He says, do not be deceived, for God is not mocked. Meaning you can't make a fool out of God. Every seed you sow, so shall you reap. Man's terminology, man's interpretation of that quote, of what God actually said, is karma. What goes around comes around. And you can best believe that. So, in wrapping things up today, y'all, I just wanted to share a few little tidbits of information with y'all about what we need to be doing with our children and how to take care of them and show them that we love them and all that, man, because it's really important. We have a world that went crazy out here, man, with kids doing any and everything, not showing no respect to the parents, not showing no respect to adults, killing folks. It's just chaos out here, man. It's chaos. Fortunately enough, it's not most folks, most families, or most kids, but it is enough of them to where that it's definitely a concern. So with that being said, let's be conscientious about what we do. Let's live our lives intentionally, on purpose, and let's raise our children on purpose and feed them what we want them to eat. So if you're not going to feed your kid maggots and roaches, then you might want to watch what comes out of your mouth, and you might want to pay attention to the way that you behave, because psychologically you're feeding them roaches and maggots. So when their personality turns out to be roaches and maggots personalities, guess what? Go look in the mirror, Dad. Go look in the mirror, Mom. It's your fault, not theirs. Now they got to spend all this time trying to deprogram themselves with all the garbage that you haphazardly programmed them with, because you were just in auto mode. I'm Dad, I go to work, I make money, I come home, I go to sleep, I get up tomorrow, I do the same thing all over again. No, dog, that's not how you go. Don't be a zombie. Snap out of it. Snap out of it, okay? Live your life on purpose, not on accident. With that being said, till next we meet, y'all. Thank y'all for coming to my channel. I hope you guys got some value out of this. If you did, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it. I need all the likes I can get because it's a new channel. I'm still trying to come up, man. I'm on to come up. And I appreciate all the love that I've gotten so far. Tell your friends, tell your family. If you think somebody needs to hear this message, tell them to come to the video. Send them the link in your phone. Share it with them. They can come check it out. And I'll tell them myself. Don't smoke around your children. Don't smoke within 30 feet. Smoke travels 20 feet, so don't give them that extra 10 just to be sure. Don't smoke within 30 feet of your child. Turn your music down. Put it on something that's educational for your child, like an audio book. Teach them something while you're driving in the car. Listen to a church channel or something. Anything that's positive, progressive, that's going to feed their psyche. Instead of I kill you and shoot you and I sell this much dope and my rims are this big all the time. Nobody want to hear all that. They're children. That's cool for adults because we understand what's fiction and what's reality. But feed their mind. Don't let them live on autopilot just because you live on autopilot. Okay? Till next we meet, peace and progress. Oh, and one last thing, don't forget, up there, you see up there in the top right corner, on your laptop or your PCs, if you look on the top right corner of my channel, you'll see I have my clothing line. And I got some music up there too. Old music, but hey, if you like it, you like it. It's all good, and I appreciate the love. But yeah, I got a clothing line. It's called Playaware. Playa, productive life, always yielding accomplishment. I've been saying that I was going to get it made up and get everything ready. So now I finally got the clothing line up and running. So by all means, click the link. T-shirts, leggings, baby clothes, whatever you want. Warm-ups, I got it all, man. Muscle shirts, check it out. Support your boy. I appreciate the love, man. Thank y'all so much. Till next we meet. Holla at you. Mwah.